Well, there can be no doubt that we are seeing a change in emphasis under the Trump administration. I mean, historically, the United States has been the bedrock, the foundation, so to speak, in terms of global leadership. And I don't think that they've vacated that role, but certainly there has been a change, a renewed emphasis, and President Trump is making it clear that his expectations are that when countries sign up to, for example, NATO, that they will follow through on the commitments that they gave there, in this case, 2% of GDP spending on defence. But ultimately, you know, Australia's view, sitting in the heart of Asia, is that we've got to make sure that we open up as many opportunities for our economy as possible. The TPP-11, which you mentioned, was an absolute core focus for the government. We've delivered now market access to something like $17 trillion worth of markets under that new TPP-11. So, you know, we will continue to move into a space that we think is important.
President Trump ruffled some feathers last week in the UK. He gave an interview where he said that if the UK were to pursue this soft form of Brexit and thereby taking the rules playbook from EU on goods, it would make negotiating a trade deal with the US a lot more difficult. What is Australia's stance on that? If the UK does adopt this soft Brexit type scenario, assuming many of the rules from the EU, does it have any bearings of a potential trade deal with Australia? Well,
from Australia's perspective, we've got one FTA underway in negotiations, and that's with the European Union. And then we've got the potential of a second FTA that we would like to do bilaterally with the UK. Now, as Australia's Trade Minister, I want as comprehensive and high quality a trade deal as I can achieve with the UK. Ultimately, the form of Brexit, whether it's soft Brexit or hard Brexit, that will obviously impact on what we can achieve bilaterally. I'm going to pursue our comprehensive high quality FTA with the EU, and obviously if it's a soft Brexit, I would assume that the UK would be in part of that. I think it would limit opportunities, but we've got to wait and see ultimately what Brexit looks like. There's a lot of speculation at the moment, and I, being in politics, don't get too excited about the speculation. I'm just looking for what the actual course of action is.
We're short of one or two trade negotiators in the UK. I don't know if it's been mentioned at all, but we had virtually none because we'd handed over that function, of course, to the Commission as well. Now we're hiring left, right and centre and lawyers and McKinsey and you name it, are getting these huge fees and what have you. Does Australia have the capacity to run two sets of parallel, does it have the desire to run two sets of parallel trade talks, which are going to be torturous, let's face it. And we all know that the Australian key to the door is getting access on the agricultural front as well, as one of the keys issues anyway, I should say. Can you run two at the same time? Do you want to run two at the same time? Is it just going to be too much?
No, we can certainly run two at the same time. We can run more than two at the same time. I mean, right now, I'm pursuing the most ambitious trade agenda in Australia's history. We've got FTA negotiations underway right now with the EU, with India, with Hong Kong, with Indonesia, with the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, which is ASEAN nations plus 6 more, and with the Pacific Alliance, which is Colombia, Mexico, Chile and Peru. So, you know, we have a full court press, so to speak, in terms of what we're pursuing on the trade front. We can certainly look at doing a trade deal with the UK. We want to. And Liam Fox and I, probably nearly a year or two ago now, actually announced the joint working group between the UK and Australia. In fact, I think we were the first one to put together a joint working group to scope out what a bilateral FTA might look like.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.